Hello, welcome to the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast, where it is all about helping amazing physicians just like you create a wealthy life free from burnout and with the financial security to practice medicine on your own terms. I'm your host, Dr. Elisa Chiang. Before we start this week's episode, I want to let you know about a book called Made for More: Physician Entrepreneurs Who Live Life and Practice Medicine on Their Own Terms. This is a book written by over 40 physicians, including myself, where we talk about our entrepreneur journey. These are stories of overcoming fear, self-doubt, and other obstacles in order to create success. The book released on Tuesday, January 17, 2023, so you're going to want to get your copy out now. And if you're listening to this episode soon after it's released, I really encourage you to get a copy this week because there's a special price for the Kindle ebook that you're not going to want to miss. Get a copy of this book for yourself and for all the doctors in your life. You won't regret it. To promote the book, I'm offering a workshop this weekend, Sunday, January 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. In this workshop, you'll learn how to calculate how much assets you need in order to achieve financial independence. I'll review achieving financial independence with not only a stock and bond portfolio, but also with real estate investments. You'll walk away with a sense of what investments would give you financial independence. The price of this workshop is purchasing a copy of Made for More in any format. If you buy the ebook, that's only 99 cents. You can sign up for the workshop at growyourwealthymindset.com/workshop. I hope to see you there. And now to go to our regular show. Hello, and welcome back to the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast. When you're investing your money, knowing the timeline of when you need the money is important. When you're saving for a short-term goal with a time horizon of less than 5 years, and more often in the 1 to 3 year range, you don't want to invest in the stock market or real estate. But you probably also hate losing the value of your money due to inflation. So where are places that you can park your money other than in a high-yield savings account or a money market account? You may have heard of something called CDs, which stands for certificate of deposits, not to be confused to what people used to use to listen to music. CDs are an investment product that offers a fixed interest rate for a specific period of time. CDs are issued by banks, and like bank accounts, money invested in CDs are insured up to $250,000 by the FDIC. Credit unions also offer CDs, though sometimes they call them share certificates. Maturity dates of CDs range from as short as 1 month and as long as 10 years or more. Generally, the higher the term, the higher the interest rate that's paid. At the end of the term, you can either renew the CD, sometimes at the same rate in term, or other times at the current rate. You can also roll over your original deposit and interest earned into a new CD, or you can withdraw your original deposit and the interest that's earned. But what if you find yourself needing the money before the end of the term? You can generally get the money back, but with the penalty. The amount of the penalty will depend on how long you kept the CD and the terms of the CD. The early withdrawal penalty for CDs varies by financial institution. The most common withdrawal penalty is calculated as a set period's time worth of interest. For example, the penalty may be 30 days of interest or 90 days of interest. Generally, banks will calculate the penalty as the number of days of simple interest on the rate of the CD. It is possible to lose money when investing in a CD if you need your cash before the CD matures and if the penalty is larger than the interest you've earned up to that point. Let's say you have $5,000 that you place in a 3-year CD that's earning an interest rate of 4%. The early withdrawal rate on the 5-year CD is 180 days worth of interest. It doesn't allow partial early withdrawals, so you have to cash out the whole $5,000 if you need any of that money. Your penalty would be your account balance multiplied by your interest rate divided by 365 days and then multiplied by the number of days of interest. In this example, your penalty would be $5,000 times 4% interest divided by 365 days, then multiplied by 180 days, and that would be $98.64. There may also be a minimum penalty, so even if your interest penalty is low, you may end up paying more due to a minimum penalty. For example, in this case, if the minimum penalty was $100, then you would end up paying $100 instead of the $98.64. The penalty on a 1-year CD ranges anywhere between 60 days of interest and 180 days interest. For a 5-year CD, penalties can range from 6 months to 24 months of interest. There are some CDs that allow you to withdraw a partial amount, like the interest you've earned, without a penalty. Some CDs allow you to receive interest paid to you in regular disbursements while the CD itself remains invested. There is also a strategy called a CD ladder. The idea is that you purchase several CDs with different maturities. That way, you have access to some money when the next CD matures. If you don't need the money at the time the CD matures, then you can use it to buy another CD. This is one strategy that can be used for money in your emergency fund. Let's say you have $25,000 that you want to put in a CD ladder for 5 years. You would start with putting $5,000 in a 1-year CD, $5,000 in a 2-year CD, $5,000 in a 3-year CD, $5,000 in a 4-year CD, and then $5,000 in a 5-year CD. After a year, the first CD matures, but if you don't need the money at that point, then you can renew it with another 5-year CD. In this way, every year you would have $5,000 that's becoming available from a maturing CD. So if you're creating a CD ladder in January 2023, then you would put $5,000 in a 1-year CD that matures in January 2024, $5,000 in a 2-year CD that matures in January 2025, $5,000 in a 3-year CD that matures in January 2026, $5,000 in a 4-year CD that matures in January 2027, and $5,000 in a 5-year CD that matures in January 2028. In January of 2025, the first CD will mature. If you don't need the money at that point, then you could buy a 5-year CD that now matures in January 2029. This allows you to continue to have $5,000 from a CD maturing every January. A CD ladder strategy is one that provides you regular access to your money with safety of your principal and a guaranteed return. By buying CDs with different maturities, you benefit from the higher interest rate from longer-term CDs. The CD ladder reduces the liquidity risk of CDs by ensuring that you have a CD maturing regularly, giving you access to your cash. It also reduces interest rate risk. When a CD matures and the interest rates are higher, then you can reinvest the proceeds from the maturing CD into the new CD with the higher interest rates. When the interest rates drop, you still have CDs that have locked in the prior higher interest rates. You can also choose shorter terms, making a CD ladder with a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, and 1-year CDs. If you have money in a long-term CD at a relatively low interest rate, and then interest rates on CDs increase significantly, you could consider whether it's worth paying the penalty for early withdrawal to lock in a CD at a higher interest rate. To decide whether this is advantageous, crunch the numbers. Calculate the number of days or months interest that you would give up as penalty by breaking the CD. Then calculate the amount of interest you'll earn with a higher paying CD in the time between opening it and the original CD's maturity date. If the number is lower than your penalty, keep the money in its original CD. If it's higher, it may make sense to break your current CD to take advantage of the higher rates with another new CD. CDs are a conservative investment that can be part of your savings plan. If you may actually need access to your money, it's important to not tie it up in CDs. Look at the interest rates at high-yield savings accounts like at Ally or Capital One and compare it to the interest rate of CDs. If they aren't that different, it may not be worth tying up your money in a CD. As of December 2022, the best CD rates I found was 4.75% on a 5-year CD with Bread Savings, and that had a minimum investment of $1,500. Capital One offered 4.15% interest on a 1-year CD, 4.35% interest on a 3-year CD, and 4.4% interest on a 5-year CD, while their high-yield savings account was paying 3%. There is no minimum deposit for Capital One CDs. I-bonds, which could be compared to a 5-year CD with a 3-month penalty, are at 6.89%. The 5-year TIPS interest rate is at 2.21%. The 1-year treasury rate is 4.65%, and the 10-year treasury rate is 3.48%. To put all these interest rates in perspective, the annual inflation rate for the United States is 7.1% for the 12 months that ended in November 2022, according to the U.S. Labor Department data published on December 13. So with all these, quote, and I'm using air quotes here, safe investments, the value of money invested is still decreasing compared to inflation. That's why even if you fear losing money by investing in stocks or real estate, You guarantee losing money if all your investments are in treasuries, CDs, or other cash equivalents, depending on the rate of inflation and interest rates. Not everyone uses CDs as part of their investment plan. For me personally, I don't think it's worth the difference in interest rate for the difference in liquidity, and I'd rather just keep my cash in high-yield savings accounts so that my money is more available to me for either investments or other things that may come up. However, I do believe that there is a time and place where CDs can be useful. I hope that clarified information about CDs and different strategies to use them. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back next week with another episode of the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could share it with your friends and colleagues. And now for the disclaimer. I am not a certified financial planner, accountant, or attorney, and nothing I say should be construed as professional investment, tax, or legal advice. This show is primarily for your education and entertainment. I am a physician, but I'm probably not your physician. So if you need any medical advice, please contact your own physician. Thank you.